I'm Maria Menounos, and you're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
Hey guys, welcome to the AfterBuzz After Show for Next in Fashion with Alexa Chung and Tan France. We are really loving this show. So, episode 3. Yeah. My name is Bethany Jean, and I'm a beauty and style expert. To my left, we have Lauren Mayo. She's basically a supermodel and a seamstress, so had to add her to our panel.
Amazing.
And we also have Ashley Foltz, who is a style expert. You can find Ashley on
shows like Access,
so
Extra,
many things.
You name it.
Yeah. All sorts of things. Do you recognize her? If you're into fashion, you probably do. Well, guys, in this episode, we saw them be challenged with the making of a suit, which sounds like construction-wise is one of the most difficult challenges you can have.
Yeah.
Which I thought was really cool and interesting to watch. What did you guys think of this episode?
I thought this episode was awesome because a suit is something that we can all wear and we can all relate to. I feel like most of us have owned a suit. So it was cool to see it be constructed, and a lot of them were really terrified of this challenge. We saw one team that was super strong with it, and I love the way that all of them turned out, and they were all so different.
Totally.
Yeah, I do agree. I think this is the most variation we've seen so far in these 3 episodes, and I was really excited that they gave them an option to make it either a men's suit or a women's suit.
Yeah.
And it was interesting to see what people chose.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Primarily females.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did
Was
we
it
have-
one
did we
guy
have a
or
man?
2 guys?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Haley.
yeah.
Yes.
Haley.
Haley and Julian.
Little loser. I mean, just kidding. Not saying it's because she chose a man. Okay, so what did we think about everyone's relationships? Now we're kind of getting into it. You're seeing people who've been paired up actually start the tug of war of power. Yeah. I was not surprised who went home because of just the dynamic of it.
Yeah.
It was actually becoming kind of like bad energy.
Yeah.
What'd you guys think?
I was really, on a brighter note, I was really excited to see more about Ashton and Marco's relationship because they started out saying they had 18 years of history. So my interest is piqued. And now we see like they both came up through the music industry and fashion. And it was just so sweet when he got injured, how he was like, he cried. He was by his side. He was like, I'm only worried about him right now. I don't care about the competition. It was really sweet. And I did not expect that reaction.
And he totally pulled his weight and they still came out ahead.
In my opinion, they were the best, which was so surprising. I was actually kind of mad for them in the beginning when Ashton got hurt. I guess Marco got hurt, and Ashton was left to design the suit alone for the entire first day almost. I was like, this is unfair. I feel like they should almost have immunity from this challenge if that's a thing and that exists. That has not been brought up on this show at all. But they didn't, but they ended up pulling it off, and the suit was so beautiful, and they worked together so nicely, and I love them as a team. Yeah.
So beautiful. Oh my gosh. I've really enjoyed watching Angel and Minju's relationship.
Yeah.
Can they just be my friends?
Yeah.
They're bringing so much cheeriness to the show. It's like, even if they do come up with a design we don't really love, we can't get rid of them.
Right.
Yeah.
I feel like their cheery energy is carrying it all.
They're so cute and sweet. I love them.
And they definitely balance out Julian and Haley's energy because I feel like every time we see Julian and Haley, they got to bring us back our favorite dragon princesses, as they call themselves.
Dragon princess.
What did you guys think? So we saw last episode that Julian was kind of running the show and Haley didn't get much input. And then this episode, Haley was really running the show, and she literally would not listen to anything Julian was saying. But
yeah, which
I
was
kind
weird
of felt
too.
bad for him. I was like, girl, you need to concede a little. I get that it's your direction on this one, but take his advice a little. You guys are teammates, right?
Yeah, and the power struggle was strong with those two.
Very, very strong. And I do want to point out, because I'm usually like team girl all the way.
Me too.
But I'm surprised I'm like empathizing with him so much in this situation. But I don't know if you guys remember, he was like, oh, so I got this for the lining. And she's like, no, we worry about that later. Like, he referenced we need to do the lining at least twice on camera that we saw.
Yes.
And she was just like, no.
Mm-hmm.
So.
And then they ran out of her fabric.
Exactly.
And it totally backfired
it's the
on
whole
her.
reason.
Yeah. If she would have listened to him, they probably would not be eliminated right now.
Feel a little karma-ish.
Right?
Yeah.
Right? Like,
yeah.
And by the way, I think a gold liner would have been cool.
It
Yeah,
would've.
I do too.
Yeah.
I don't know. She acted like he said something so out of the box.
Yeah. And this is what I thought too. Okay, yes, last time he did run the show and her vision wasn't communicated as well as his was, but they, after all, did so well, and the judges really responded to his vision. So why don't you listen to him a little bit? Because he did succeed last time.
But I think that might be why she was so, like, resistant.
Hesitant? Okay.
Because it was more about ego.
Okay, that's
because
true.
it's like, she thought, she just knew. And you could kind of tell when the judge was like, but we loved it. She was just kind of like, like, they love this idea? And I think she took it more personal as on her. Yeah. As her as a designer, like, his vision was better than mine. But it was like, no, it's both of your vision right now. You're still working as a team.
Yeah.
It's funny because first episode I didn't see her as such an ego, and by the third episode I was like, oh.
Yeah.
Like she definitely
But it goes back to what we were saying in the first recap show. Basically, if you didn't have a relationship before this show, it is really hard to work together
to share
and
a vision
communicate
with a stranger.
Right.
I mean,
All the power teams we're seeing right now are people that have known each other for a long time. Like Angel and Minju, they've been working together forever. Ashton and Marco. I feel like there's a couple other ones. Farai and Kiki, they work together so much more easily when they've known each other and had relationships outside of this show.
I mean, people literally describing themselves as like a sibling relationship.
Yeah.
So we're like brothers, we're like sisters.
Yeah.
Yeah, that does seem a little unfair on their behalf.
I wonder how the casting went. I'm just curious. Did they just choose designers that they liked, and then it was like, oh, I happen to know Bethany. We did an after show together, so let's pair. Is that how it happened?
I was wondering about that too. Yeah. Or if you could submit as a solo
That's
designer
what I think.
or as a pair, and then maybe if they like someone as a solo, they're like, great, we're just pairing people up.
That's what I think happened.
Random.
They didn't want to exclude you if you didn't have a partner, because a lot of designers don't have partners. They do work solo.
Yeah.
So it makes sense.
Yeah, I think so too. In terms of relationships, Claire and Adolfo, they seem to get along well. Mm-hmm. And did they know each other?
No, they didn't. They said they met a couple days ago, but even Adolfo said, like, Claire's kind of been taking the lead, and Claire's just kind of like, Like, so I guess their personalities work for right now anyway.
Right.
Yeah. Well, on to the topic, which was the suits.
Yes.
Did you guys have a favorite?
Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
I definitely did. I thought that Ashton and Marco's pinstripe, very structured, big shoulder suit was amazing. I was obsessed with it.
I think go team on that one. I think we all
agree. Oh my gosh,
with it. Yeah.
The train, it was a clear winner to me. I'm still hurt.
Me
like,
too.
I feel like I lost.
I could have seen like Iman wearing it or something. Yeah. It's really, really cool. The great flow and the shoulder pads. I love shoulder pads.
Me too.
I just live in the 80s. So to me, all the shoulder paddedness was like blowing my mind. I was so excited about it. And I really loved Angel and Minju's.
I did too. Yeah.
Yeah, it was just beautiful. They really know how to make white look just extraordinary.
And I actually really loved Angelo and Charles, even though it wasn't necessarily a suit. It was a deconstructed suit. And like we were hearing, I feel like from the judges, they thought it was really young and modern and cool and playful. And a lot of young women that do the red carpet would wear something like that. I could totally see that. I feel like the stylist for Yara Shahidi,
I was about to say Jason Bolden.
Yes, she would totally rock that, right?
Yeah, that's exactly who I thought.
Liked it a lot for what it was. I didn't think it was a suit.
Right.
Yeah.
That in itself to me was like, yeah, but you're not a suit. Even if they would have just added like a teeny little like double-breasted portion to the waist or anything to make
with
it
buttons
look,
or something.
buttons.
Yeah.
Just something to have a little bit more of a suit vibe. To me, it felt more almost like a romper.
Yeah.
Like a really upscale, nice, like heavy romper, like a winter romper or something.
Yeah. That's interesting.
I could see it living in like Teen Vogue, though, like you said.
Oh
like,
my gosh,
Yara all day.
totally. Yeah.
Yara all day. But I do agree with Tan. I think they kind of did themselves a disservice by over-accessorizing. At first, I was like, it was cute, but then they started going with the ankles, the pearls on the ankles. I'm like, it's a little distracting.
The sheer pink socks with pearls. I have those. What'd you guys think about Claire and Adolfo's green suit? Because when it was in construction, I think we were all on the same page.
Yeah.
Share with the audience your guys' thoughts.
We all were a little concerned because the fabric just looked like it was missing a sheen, like you said.
Yeah.
But it looked great on the runway, but to me it still felt like it fell flat, like it was missing something special.
The fabric in how do you say that, behind the scenes in the shop, literally looked like it was from Styles for Less.
Yeah.
Like, it looked so cheap and just weird. And I kept saying, oh, I wish it had a sheen. I wish it was like a heavy, like a matte satin almost or something. And then we saw it and I was like, oh, it is that. I guess it just fell into some bad lighting.
Yeah, I'm gonna say lighting changes everything. Yeah. It looked like a completely different suit.
I did not love the fit of it. I did love the color.
I like the concept though of the corset.
I feel like if you're gonna do such a bright green suit like that, you have to do a super classic silhouette because otherwise it's gonna look cheap. And the fit was just all wrong. And the fact that, like the judges were pointing out, it's a corset mixed with the wide leg. Then it was like also big and billowy up at the top near,
but not intentionally.
Right.
Billowy. It literally looked like she had her dad's like jacket, and then they just took it in just at the waist. So the underarm looked heavy.
Yeah,
you know, like it did not have that feminine
and you could
shape.
see all the dart marks in it. It wasn't the fabric that you should be doing so much darting and so much corseting. You have to choose a different fabric for that because then it shows all the little lines and dimples. And it just did not look good. It looked cheap.
I kept thinking it would have looked kind of cool with piping.
Maybe.
You know?
Yeah.
Just to give it a little more structure. And because it's so just green. Like, it could have been cool if the piping was like gold.
Or even with the skinny pant. Wouldn't you guys think with the corset with a cropped skinny pant? I think they could have pulled that off to make that green a little bit more casual.
Yeah.
Would have been more fun and playful. Instead, it was just like mixing too many different fashion components together. It just didn't seem fashion forward to me at all.
And I actually thought the same thing. As much as I love Angel and Minju, I actually thought the same thing about their white number.
Yeah.
I felt like the pant was kind of like, it reminded me of how we wore our pants in the 90s.
Right.
Just kind of like saggy and low.
Yeah.
Like, I wished the pant would have had more structure and been a little more form-fitting, because the top is this big billowing over, kind of overwhelming piece of fabric.
Yeah, I do think it was a good call for Minju to go back and add the tulle for the shoulders because it would have felt that made it.
Yeah.
Like, that was so important. But I wanted to know what you guys thought about Versailles and Kiki. About their
Farai,
I'm sorry.
I actually really loved it, and I thought they went so different than everyone else, which was cool.
I did
Adding
too.
the bright floral print with the sort of green, army green color khaki. I thought
It was the
a
best
mix of both worlds.
of like kind of a traditional masculine military color with these really like beautiful tropical colors. It was very them to me.
I
I
thought
liked
it could
how
be
them it
sold
was.
in Anthropology. It looks like designer Tracy Reese. I thought it was fresh and fun, but clearly I'm in the minority because the judges did not agree.
I totally agreed with you.
You did?
And
Okay.
I really think they only thought it was too much. I think if they wouldn't have done the sash in that fabric, I think they would have been more receptive to it, which sucks. But it was an actual suit, unlike some of the people we saw today. And it was different, but it was still wearable. Like, I could still see anybody wearing that.
Me too.
I
Like,
didn't hate the sash. I do think it could have been cool if rather than a sash, which they probably didn't know how to make this or how to do this, but if they would have had just a satin belt. Kind of like an 80s belt or something to still continue the print, but without, you know, the big bow factor.
Yeah, the sash coming out at you. Yeah, I think they also did really well because they had no suit experience.
Yeah.
And they were the only one of few people who actually completed the suit whole idea. And they had that's scary. Suits are hard.
Yeah. I can't even imagine.
I know. I can't either.
I mean, I told you I get scared to hem my own skirt. I'm like, if I just buy a really expensive sewing machine, will it do it for me?
Suits are intimidating because it is all about the tailoring and the fit. And if you're not used to cutting that, I think it was Daniel who was saying that he's made a lot of suits and that it takes him over 2 weeks to make suits. And I thought that was so interesting to hear because I'm not a designer. I don't know how long it takes to do this kind of stuff. But packing all that into 2 days seems so aggressive. And the fact that some of these teams made things that looked still really beautiful and well fitted and had great structure was so impressive.
Yeah, I agree. I really loved seeing all of their personal eye involved in everything. I want to talk to you guys about the losers of this, Julian and Haley and their suit, because I was so excited about their vision going into it. I wasn't as thrilled with the execution.
Right.
I did think it was cool. It had kind of this almost like tuxedo front that fell longer in the front. I thought that was cool. I liked the houndstooth. I thought the coral detail was interesting. It definitely made it more feminine, even though it was masculine. I was very confused to why the model didn't have a shirt on.
Yeah.
The glasses and the houndstooth with the details, I was like, this isn't Elvis. This is Ducky or Stray Cats. You
I felt like it seemed very 80s to me. It felt like Topshop to me, super cheap. I didn't love the mix of the pastel with the houndstooth. Then the gold zippers. It was just too much going on for me. And then the cut, and obviously not having the lining. What was she thinking?
She wasn't thinking. She was thinking about beating Julian.
Yeah.
Instead of beating your teammate.
Yes.
That makes perfect sense.
Exactly. And I feel like the lack of shirt it made it more Topshop.
Right.
Like, it cheapened it. Not to say, like, we were talking about too much skin, but that applies to men, too.
Totally.
Yeah.
It really does. I did love they chose a man, though. Like, that was unique.
Yes,
True.
I did like that. And I thought she had some really cool vision. I'm super 80s to my core,
Yeah.
so I was stoked about the vision.
Yeah.
But I was like, this isn't Elvis, though. Like, this is Ducky.
Yeah.
You know, from Pretty in Pink, for those of you who don't know who I'm talking about. Or Stray Cats, which was this, like, rockabilly band from the 80s. They had this vibe, you know? So it was cool. I also thought it looked cheap. I really agreed with them on that.
Yeah.
Especially because they had this houndstooth tuxedo front that was hanging, and it was just too flimsy and flowy.
Yeah.
It didn't have the structure
Yeah.
and like the integrity of a good, well-made suit. And I don't know who to blame that on, but maybe they should have double-lined it. Like, there should have been something to reinforce it so it did have that like heavy quality garment factor.
Right.
Well, when the lining only stops under the armpits, it
Yeah.
doesn't go down to the bottom of the jacket.
No.
You already know there's a problem.
By the way,
exactly.
I'm like, I feel like they were not very problem solving in this. She could have met him in the middle. She could have been like, "Oh shoot, we're halfway done with this, and we need more liner. Let's throw you a bone. Let's do half gold bottom liner."
Yeah.
It would have been a funky interior detail, which
Totally.
is fun. Like, could have gotten them fun style points.
Yeah.
He would have won a little bit.
Yeah.
Like, and it would have provided that structure and just made it a little.
She
thicker.
wanted to win it on her own.
Yeah.
Agreed.
And look how
She
that
didn't
turned
care.
out.
Yeah, it didn't work out well for them, obviously.
Yeah.
So, on to the winner. The beige power suit with the shoulder pads. What were your guys' thoughts?
I was underwhelmed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It looks, I mean, it's not, I won't say it's Topshop too, but it's just like every day. It just,
Right.
I felt like there were so many beautiful garments and they chose that. Like, it just was so every day. It was nice. The silhouette was beautiful. Don't get me wrong.
So well done.
It was well done.
It won.
Execution.
It won for how well done it was.
Yeah, you're right.
For sure. Not because it was like mind-blowing inspiring.
Right, because it was not
just
mind-blowing.
really executed well.
Yeah.
It did not. I mean, look at how far we've gotten in talking about all the suits so far, and we haven't even mentioned that one. And it's the winner. It's just, it was underwhelming for me, and it didn't really make sense. It was just, it had been done a million times before. It was nothing new, and it was beautiful, and the structure was amazing, and it had a strong shoulder, which is really modern and cool.
A very strong shoulder.
Right.
Really, the shoulder is why it won.
Yeah.
You know, if it didn't have that shoulder detail, they would have been like, okay, good job. You make a beige suit.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
There's
Why are you
nothing
on
new.
the show?
Right. Yeah. So I think we were all really shocked at and it was actually personal to me. I was really upset because I wanted Ashton and Marco to win after all they went through, with him having to go to the hospital and get stitches, and then Ashton doing the suit on his own, and then they came up with this sick idea. I've never seen a shoulder like they designed. I thought that was so unique and different, and then didn't win.
I feel like they were robbed.
Yeah.
Yeah. In the
Exactly.
comments, guys, please let us know if you agree that Ashton and Marco should have won this one. It's kind of funny because in the end of the last episode, I kind of thought they might be the ones to go in this episode.
Yes,
Just
you're
based on
right.
kind of ego, I was like, they might be on their way out. And now I'm like, oh my gosh, they killed this one.
Yeah,
They turned it all
yes.
around.
They did. They really listened. They said, we don't want to be LA street style. We're going to do something elegant, sophisticated. Like, I'm impressed. Good job, guys.
So innovative.
It was so cool because it kind of had this like Dick Tracy quality.
Oh my gosh,
but
I
then,
didn't
like,
think about that. It
but
does.
then these shoulder pads were so 80s. I think of Amon.
Yeah.
Or like,
Yeah.
you know,
Wear that
just
with
kind
that
of that
train.
like 80s over the top, angular, kind of like Patrick Nagel illustration type.
Yeah.
But then it had this flowy, like beautiful
Train.
train.
gorgeous.
Yeah, it just, so it was kind of everything. It was like masculine, feminine. It was
really
so cool.
was.
The pinstripe fabric. I was nervous at first when they said, we're going to go with pinstripes. And then
Yeah.
when I saw it come together, I'm like, okay.
I will say
Yeah.
I have a little mixed emotion about the blue pinstripe through it. Like the black
Interesting.
with the blue. I was like, But I didn't hate it. I was just kind of like not totally sold on it.
Yeah.
I kind of liked it.
I did
And I
too.
didn't think I would.
Yeah.
Like,
don't know.
It worked.
Seemed a little
because of the cut.
Yeah, before I saw what they were going to construct, at first I saw the fabric and I was like, eh.
I just feel like black and blue pinstripes maybe are like a little Cedric the Entertainer for me.
Wow.
Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't know if I would have gone with a blue
But the cut
pinstripe.
saved it. It
But
was
the
so
cut,
amazing.
I mean, it was about the shape.
Yeah.
But I feel like a white pinstripe would have been just as appropriate or something. But I'm not picking on it.
Okay.
I'm just saying I was a little shocked they just went with that
That's funny.
approach. Anyways, I think we've covered all of our opinions about all of these.
Yeah.
Ashley, do you have a message for us?
I do. Thank you guys so much for watching. We appreciate all your support. Make sure you like and subscribe and comment. We love to hear from you. We want to hear feedback, what you liked and didn't like from the show. And if you're listening on Audible, make sure you leave us a rating, give us reviews. It really helps support us and it keeps us going. So we're so appreciative. Thanks for tuning in, you guys. PSA.
Okay, so in a nutshell, do you guys feel that the winner deserved to win?
No.
No, definitely not.
Okay. Yeah. I think the quality was there, but the inspiration wasn't there enough for me personally.
Yeah.
Do you feel like the loser deserved to lose?
Yes, because they didn't finish their garment.
Yeah.
Like,
I agree.
It comes down to that.
Yeah. And I felt like we all kind of knew beforehand, right?
Yeah.
Who was going to go home. I mean, it was down to maybe 2 that I thought we had. But yeah, I think they were the clear, unfortunate losers in this case.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I also think the attitude was so weird that even if the liner was complete, I think they still might have gone home.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I do agree that it looked cheap.
And I really didn't want to see Farai and Kiki go home because I feel like they have a different voice and vision than the other designers. So I want them to see it through. I really want to see what they come up with next.
I do too. I would just love to see them power do it.
Yeah, I
Yes.
want them to win.
Yeah.
Come on, episode
Yeah.
4.
Yeah.
One thing I will say about Haley going home, and then I thought this also about Nichelle, who we love.
Yeah.
Bring her back. Bring her back. We love Nichelle. Is I'm a mom.
Yeah.
Ashley's a mom.
Yeah.
You're probably going to be a mom someday. If you want to be, no pressure. It must be so bittersweet as a mom to get sent home early.
Yes.
So when Nichelle went home, my first thought was like, you got the publicity. You're likable.
Yes.
This is going to take you somewhere. Now you get to go home to your babies.
That's true.
Yeah.
That was my thought. And then next time, the next one, now we have a mom. She's going home to Scotland. I thought the same
Yeah.
thing. Like,
Yeah.
I hope this show really gets them where they need to go in life.
Yeah.
Whether you win it or not. It's not necessarily about winning. Sometimes it's just about getting your face and your name and your product out there and kind of like expanding your business. And maybe they didn't get the $250,000, but hopefully someone will see her and invest in her in that regard.
I want to say, to build on that too, it's so interesting to see the progression in the episodes because the first few episodes, no one was really like that brokenhearted to go home. I mean, I feel like maybe Nichelle was a little bit.
She was, yeah.
But there were a lot of tears on tonight's episode, and it's getting real for them. They really want to be there. They want to stick it out. They want to win the $250,000. It's going to be life-changing for somebody. So it's getting really exciting, and I feel like it could start getting really tense and real.
Yeah. It's going to start getting competitive.
Yes.
The niceness is going to fleet.
I would like to see more relations between all of them.
Teams. Mm-hmm.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, it's almost like you don't see their group interaction at all.
Yeah.
But they have to be friendly and cool and having fun with each other. I wish they would show a little bit
Project
more of that.
Runway kind of did a little bit of that in their show and showing behind the scenes and when they were back at the hotel after a long day of working on their piece. And we haven't seen any of that. You're right.
Yeah.
I wish we saw a little bit more of their interactions and personalities and stuff like that. We get to hear a little bit of their stories, which I love because that's what draws us to them and really like makes us root for them.
Yeah. And honestly, we probably will see more of that because they're dropping off like flies.
Yes.
So eventually it's going to be down to 2 or 3 groups and they're going to be like, yeah, this is what they're up to. They're hanging out. They're in the same room. There's just only so much you can talk about.
Is it 7 left now?
Yeah.
We started with 10, I believe. So yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so time for our special segment.
Oh, yeah. Time for that. It's time to name that look.
Name that look.
Love it.
So, for our special segment, Name That Look, we basically all choose a celebrity or style icon that we feel best fits the winning suit in this case. Mm-hmm. So, we're going to start with you.
Me? Okay. So my pick for the beige suit that we saw win tonight's episode was Rosie Huntington-Whiteley. She's a tall, gorgeous model. I feel like she would look stunning. And then when I started looking for photos of her, it was hysterical because I found a photo of her in a beige suit. Wow. I was like, well, I guess I'm right.
Yeah.
Nailed it.
She looks good. She looks great.
And I will have to go with the beautiful and illustrious Victoria Beckham.
Ooh.
Oh my gosh.
She is a suit.
She's the queen of suits.
She's the queen of suits. So I could just see her rocking this so effortlessly.
Love it.
Can I just chime in? There was a guy taking a photo of her behind her. Did you see that?
That's creepy paparazzi.
He's mesmerized by her suit action.
That's true.
He's like, who's the designer on this suit?
And it's probably hers. I wonder if it is a Victoria Beckham special.
I don't know.
That's cool. I like how oversized the pants are.
Too.
That's really fun.
Wide leg.
I feel like so many people could wear this suit.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, it's because it's kind of a basic bee suit,
right?
Let's be honest. But it also has great fashion details. So someone who's kind of fashion forward but wears beige. I thought of Kate Bosworth.
I love it.
Okay.
And then I just Googled her in beige, and this came up. So it's kind of like a skirt version
Of a suit,
of that suit.
She would look
I feel
amazing
like
in it.
She wears beige really well.
Yes.
She somehow manages to wear beige and keep it looking cool.
That's funny
and
that
fun.
we both chose like a blonde,
Yeah.
fair-skinned girl because they both would look good in the beige. Yeah.
I also thought Meghan Markle would wear it really nice.
Oh, she would look amazing.
But so would Kate Middleton.
That's
I
true.
feel like it's just such a classic piece, just like slightly designer overstated. It's like
I guess that's why they won, you guys. Because anyone and everyone
anyone
can
could
wear it.
I also thought, and I try to avoid it, but I thought Kim Kardashian could.
Yes.
Oh my God, I did think about that, and I was like, ew, what?
Yeah, I think she's been seen wearing beige.
She
She does a lot of
beige on beige
suits.
type
Yes.
suits.
Yeah, she does a lot of
Totally.
suits. Courtney too. They both do a lot of suit looks.
So, do we have any predictions?
Oh gosh.
AfterBuzz TV predictions.
I just have to say, I feel like Ashton and Marco might go all the way. I feel like I'm rooting for them now more than ever. I think they have a really strong vision, and I love what they did tonight. So they got robbed tonight. I predict that they're going to win next week. I'm putting that good mojo out into the universe.
Yeah.
I like that.
I'm interested to see, I think we're going to see more of Adolfo and Claire. I just feel like we still really know nothing about them other than Claire's grandpa got her into fashion.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm just excited. I think we're going to learn more about them in episode 4.
I don't really have a prediction about who's going home.
Yeah.
My prediction though is that Angel and Minja are gonna win it.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Ooh, yeah.
I think they're definitely
you're
going to
right.
be in the top for
I
Yeah.
do
sure.
too. Yeah,
Unless something
Yeah.
crazy happens.
I
But
also just feel like they should win it.
totally.
So that might just be my personal trying to put that out there.
Yeah.
But I just feel like they are so great and so cool, and I would just love to see them blow up.
Yep.
yeah. And I liked what Angel said in the last episode about like how she's trying to put Chinese designers on the map and not mass production. I never even thought about that from her perspective and her experience. So that would be really dope if they could win.
I also feel like they, maybe above all of them, could have the biggest impact on mainstream fashion.
True.
Yeah.
Because they're just so bright and cheery and stylized. Like,
Right.
imagine if they did a run for Target
Yeah.
or for whatever, fill in the blank. We could all be wearing these like abstract bikinis or like whatever.
Yeah.
Place it into a category.
I would support them.
Yeah.
Maxi
I would buy
dresses.
it.
I would
or
support them
kimonos.
under one stipulation.
What?
The line must be named Dragon Princess.
Yes, I love
And then I
that.
will support.
Yes,
Dragon
girl.
Princess. That was so cute. Okay. Well, guys,
That's it.
I think that's it. I
That's
think
it.
we've covered
That's
it.
all she wrote.
Yeah. Where can everybody find you guys?
You can find me on Instagram at Ashley Foltz.
You can find me on Instagram at Lauren Out Loud and on YouTube at Lauren Mayo.
And guys, you can find me on Instagram at Bethany Jean Official. That's Bethany with an IE. Thank you so much for joining us. We've had the best time talking fashion and personalities. All right, we'll see you guys next
Bye, guys.
episode. Bye, guys.
Our founder, Keven Undergaro, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.